Hi, this is Jeff Blauette, technical agronomist with Cooperative Farmers Elevator. And in this week's Field Friday segment, I kind of wanted to show a video here. We've got a couple of drones out applying some product out in the field here. It's kind of getting to that stage with soybeans as well on the early side. You know, we talked about last week on our episode that the corn tasseling was starting to go on and corn fungicide timing is starting to become now. Soybeans on the early planted stuff is there too. And so we kind of have some drones out flying this field this morning. Kind of wanted to show some video of that with our CFE Air. You know, we kind of got our feet wet playing some drone acres last year. We've learned a lot in the last year. We've changed how our trailers are and some of the things that we're doing to do even better. But you know, one of the things that we've learned is this is a really very beginning of its infancy of the application with drones, where there's a lot to learn yet. We kind of have learned over time that what the specs are on the machines probably aren't accurate as far as what they say for coverage, for pattern width and so forth. Obviously the wider they can claim their pattern is, the better it is for efficiency. But when we go out and actually do some pattern testing, it's not quite as good as the drone manufacturers say it is. So it's pretty important that if we're having some drone application done, that whoever's applying has done some calibration work on those machines and they know the right height and the right spread width to give a good coverage pattern. We put a lot of effort into that, and we've learned what we need to do with the machines that we're running, so we feel like we're doing a good job with how our machines are set up and in operation. You know, we've talked about the damp environment we have. Again, we're sopping wet this morning. We waited until the dew was off the plants enough to do a good job for the fungicide application, but we have a lot of heavy dews. We get rains every 3 days yet, the way it seems. There's more in the forecast. We keep this really damp environment, which is very conducive to you know, your disease pathogens, your fungal pathogens, and it's also conducive to very good crop growth. As long as we can keep these plants healthy and green, they should have a really good potential this year. You know, we've talked about the corn having some of the best potential we've probably ever seen, and I think in a lot of cases, if we can continue to get rains here, soybeans could as well. We've always talked in the past that corn needs rain in July to really flourish, and beans need rain in August to really flourish. You know, here we're in the latter half of July now, but these early planted beans probably are getting a benefit out of that rain. Maybe even the end of July fits them better than the old August adage on the early planted stuff, which there was a lot of this year. But as we continue, this weather pattern doesn't seem to be changing yet, so we should have potential that should be really good, which makes it a lot easier to gain. It's a lot easier to gain yield when we have a high potential, and especially when we have plenty of moisture around. So the time for beans is kind of when we start seeing pods all the way up and down the plant. The small pods towards the top is kind of the beginning of the time, and we're getting there with some of these fields. And yeah, you're going to start to see a lot more fields getting flown, whether it's with an airplane or with our CFE Air teams that we have throughout the territory. It's just getting to that time where it's go time. So I guess I just wanted to show a little video of what we got going on, just to touch base again that, you know, we've kind of got a big crew of drones and drone pilots out trying to service our needs and do a good job for the customer. So with that, that's this week's Field Friday segment, and we'll see you next week.